again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker, but not today. Oh, no, not today. The world is beautiful today. It's perfect. And why is it perfect? Because today is the re-release of the 1973 album, Buckingham Nicks. So today I am proclaiming that September 19th will officially be Buckingham Nicks Day. And there you are. There you have it. This album was made in 1973 by the legendary performers Stevie Nicks, who has been a crush of mine since I was like 5 years old, and Lindsey Buckingham, who is criminally one of the most underrated guitar players in the world. I see some of these lists that have these guitar players on there, and I say, what the fuck are they thinking? I just think these lists are done to piss people off. Buckingham is incredible, and you're going to hear a little bit of it today. Now, to give you a little background on this, Buckingham and Nicks went to high school together. I think Stevie was a year older. She went off to college. He went to the same college as she did, and they formed a band called Fritz. Fritz really didn't go anywhere. And when they were shopping around their music, every agent and every music executive pointed out that those two were being held back by Fritz, that they could be something big, and they agreed. And so they went out to be a duo, and they became Buckingham Nicks, and in the process they became a couple. Well, in 1973, the album did not do well commercially, and they were about to be dropped. Until one day, Mick Fleetwood, who is the drummer of the iconic band Fleetwood Mac, which at the time was a blues band, and which wasn't really doing well commercially. They had lost their lead singer. Their lead guitar player. They needed a singer as well. And he walked into, I believe it was Sound City Studios. And as he walked in, and this is how you know that there is a God. This is how you know that things just don't happen randomly. Fleetwood heard Buckingham's guitar play, and he was floored. And he wanted to hire Buckingham on the spot. Now, as men are loyal, sometimes to a fault. Buckingham insisted that Stevie Nicks be included into the band. Otherwise, he would not join Fleetwood Mac. Of course, Fleetwood Mac consisted of John McVie and Christine McVie, who were a married couple at the time. And the McVie and Fleetwood said, "Okay, let the girls meet each other. If they can get along, if they like each other, she can join the band." They didn't audition them. They didn't. It was just basically the two girls meet at a bar somewhere, and they hit it off right away. And there is the history of how Fleetwood Mac, the Fleetwood Mac that we know and love today, were born. And fans of these two, and I am a big fan of both, are in delirium today. Because we're being brought back to 1973, and I wasn't even born in 1973. I was born a year later. But if you are a fan of Fleetwood Mac, and if you've ever seen them in concert, and I have, you would know that this is one of the greatest bands in the history of music, of pop music. Their first album that they made together was called Fleetwood Mac, in self-titled Fleetwood Mac, and it did very well. The second album that followed, as dysfunctional, as tumultuous, as angry, and as hurt as these people were at the time, because Nicks and Buckingham were breaking up from their relationship for 4 years. The McVeys were getting a divorce, and Mick Fleetwood sitting back there playing drums like Animal from the Muppets, going, "Hey man, don't look at me. I'm going to watch the world burn." And the world didn't burn into ash. It turned into gold, platinum, really, 40 times over, because rumors, which is the perfect album. There is not a bad, there is not a, there's not a good song on there. Every song is a fucking banger. Rumors ended up being one of the greatest selling records of all time. It would go on to sell more than 40 million copies around the world. Now, let me just give you an indication. Let's find out what the highest selling record of 2024 was. Just to give you an indication of what the what we're looking at here. So, highest selling record of 2024. Let's see. Bear with me for one moment. Let's see here. It says Taylor. Okay, so Taylor Swift has the highest selling record of 2024. She sold approximately 3.4 million records. Now that's not bad for today. That's a pretty good number, and that would have been a pretty good number for anybody at any time. I mean, you're going to keep a career, a long career, if you put out 5, 6, 7 albums that sell 3 million copies each. You're making money. You're touring. You have a fan base. Just times that now by 10. And the hits on that song, Dreams, You Can Go Your Own Way, The Chain, I mean, over and over and over again. And the songs that they left off, of course, the most popular song maybe in the world today, you hear it everywhere now, is Silver Springs. And that was a song Nicks wrote about her breakup with Buckingham. And it was left off the album because in those days they had records, vinyl records, and those records, they had time restraints. You just couldn't physically fit the song on the vinyl. It just, there wasn't enough time. It wasn't like today where you have CDs where you can press them, or even today CDs. Look at me, I'm aging myself. Where you can just download songs, and you could break. You could form a record that has 40 songs on it. It doesn't matter. There's no time restraints anywhere anymore. Everything is digital. But this was a song called Frozen Love that Mick Fleetwood heard. And he saw that there was enormous potential. And of course, when these two joined Fleetwood Mac, the lives of everyone changed. Some believe for the worse, some believe for the better, maybe a little bit of both. But we are so lucky that Mick Fleetwood walked into that studio at that particular time. It's just amazing how fate works. If you know anything about Buckingham and Nicks, their relationship has been all over the tabloids, now social media, for almost 50 years. They were two people who many people believe that they're still in love with each other today. And they're in their late 70s. And sometimes when you see them perform, they'll look at each other when they're singing certain songs. They hug each other. They'll give themselves, pecks on the head or cheek. They hold hands. They have an attraction there. When they look at each other, Stevie Nicks described it as a zzz, when they see each other, because there's something there. Now, there was an interview that was done in 2009 where Stevie Nicks was quoted as saying that the love of her life was Joe Walsh. That's utter nonsense. Joe, she was her and Joe Walsh were so toxic together. I remember those stories. I was a boy back then. This is like 1984, 1985. They were both abusing cocaine at a high level. And they were both in a miserable time in their lives where Stevie Nicks even thought that she might not live much longer. But Buckingham has always been the one for her, I believe, in my opinion. You don't write songs about a guy over and over and over again, and he writes songs about her over and over and over again, if there isn't a love there, if there isn't a deep-rooted passion for somebody. And if you've ever seen the live version of Silver Springs, which was recorded in 1997 for their reunion called The Dance, and I was watching that on VH, I think it was on VH1. I was 23 years old at the time. You'll see that there's still regret and pain and hurt. You know, sometimes it's a your life might be like a Greco-Roman tragedy where you meet somebody and you just fit, but the gods just won't let you be together. You may not believe in that stuff. People don't believe in soulmates. Some people do. I think that the universe does create people that are just for us, but sometimes we don't realize it, we don't understand it, and we let them go. And then we meet the wrong person and they ruin us. They make your life miserable. Case in point, me. I mean, that's happened to me a bunch of times. But these two have, they've been swirling as of late because they're re-releasing this. They had a big, huge billboard. I think it was on Santa Monica Boulevard. And today they're re-releasing Buckingham Nicks. And it is a fantastic album. I'm going to play I hope I don't get copyright strike from this, but I'm going to play a little bit of Frozen Love, which is the song that Mick Fleetwood heard, and that the Fleetwood Mac era, the second Fleetwood Mac era, would begin. And let's give it a whirl here. Look at Stevie. Is she not an enchantress? I mean, she just looks unbelievable. And Lindsay's rocking that hair. Dude, I wish I was born back then. I was born back then. I'm just saying, I wish I was like a 20-year-old guy back then. And away we go.
You may not be as strong as me, and I may not care to teach you. It may be hard to keep up with me. I'll always be able to reach you. And if you go forward, I'll meet you there. And if you climb up to the gold freezing air, look down below you, search out above, cry out for frozen love, Life gave me you there, the change was made. There's no beginning, no goal. You are not happy, but what is love? It gave you me for lover. And if you go forward, I'll meet you there. And if you climb up to the cold freezing air, look down below you, search out above, cry out to life for frozen love,
Well, finger.
You may not be the strongest,
This is just goes to show you that the talent is from God. I mean, yeah, you got to practice and you got to, but you don't really hear stuff like this anymore. Not even close. His guitar play, and listen, Stevie is, like I said, she's hypnotic. She's hypnotizing. But Buckingham is, that's what attracted Mick Fleetwood, was that guitar solo, and that guitar solo was the absolute shit. I mean, you don't hear people playing like this today. And like I said, he was all finger picking, like, electric guitar, usually you have guys with the picks. He didn't use that, just he still doesn't use that. And we see some of the great pictures of the still photos of their photo shoot. And I mean, listen, Jimmy Iovine was Stevie Nicks' producer on her album called Belladonna, which was a solo album that she made in 1981, maybe. And it was an absolute fucking smash. I mean, she had 6 or 7 hits on that record. She dated Iovine too, but he had once said many years later that no man meets Stevie Nicks and doesn't fall in love with her. Look at that face. Is that not perfection there? The hair. And now listen, I will fully admit I'm a sucker for blondes. I like blondes. I think that they are, yeah. But look at her. I mean, she's just outrageous. She looks like a star. She has the mannerisms of a star. She's so comfortable in front of the camera. Just, yeah.
Yes, I'm always going to be able to reach if you go forward, I'll meet you there. And if you climb up, we'll go through together. Don't have to know you, so shout above.
And we'll just leave it right there, because that was iconic to me. It just goes to show that sometimes you may have a killer song and you just don't have the audience for it right now at that moment. Well, the audience is here. And if you've ever been to a Stevie Nicks show, if you've ever been to a Lindsey Buckingham show, if you've ever been to Fleetwood Mac, you see women in their 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, girls in their 20s, and even teens who dress like her with the shawls and the blacks, the crescent moons and all that. They are both, in my opinion, cultural icons. She, of course, is megastar. And thank God they're still with us. And hopefully this turns into a reunion, because that's what we kind of all want. Could this be a reunion? Let's hope. Let's see. Hey, man, there's money out there, and they know it. Now, do they need it? No. But it's out there. And the mystery of their love affair will go on. And I think that they'll both go to their graves with that love for each other. I know Buckingham is married. I think he has 2 or 3 children now. Stevie never got married, and she did have she made the unfortunate decision to terminate her pregnancy with Don Henley back in 1979. She thought that it would destroy Fleetwood Mac, and she was probably right. But that's of course unfortunate. But we're here now. They're here now, and hopefully they'll be at a stage near you, and you'll be able to see them and enjoy them, just like I have, and many, many, many millions of other people have. All right, let's hope I don't get some copyright strike. Don't do me like that, YouTube. All right, there's my 2 cents. Thank you again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Be careful out there, my friends. Satan is always busy. Be a man. Have a backbone, because common sense and masculinity are worth standing up for. And if it ends in an ism, remember, it is a mental disorder. Have a good weekend.